So I'm now going to look at soldering the 5th module in my RC2014 Pro kit. I've already soldered Z80 module, the clock module, 64K RAM module and compact flash module. I am now looking at soldering up the Pageable ROM module. This is a fairly straightforward build. I've already prepared the parts here. So there's 5 10K resistors, easily identifiable by their brown, black and orange stripes. 5 100 nanofarad decoupling capacitors, again easily identifiable in the kit because they're marked with a 104 on one side. And the rest is just jumpers and sockets. So I'll be doing the usual preparation for the enhanced bus double row header here by trimming off some of the pins. There are 4 14 pin narrow dip sockets here, 1 16 pin. There's the goodness knows how many pins there are for the ROM chip there. I'm not going to bother counting, probably 28 or something. Let's just double check that, see how good a guess I made. Oh yeah, 28 pin wide dual socket. Yep, that was a very good guess. And I've already cut some of the straight header pins here, which are used for the jumpers. So these are 3 lots of 5 for here, and there's 3 lots of 6 for here. So all that remains now is get the soldering iron warmed up and get soldering. I'm going to do this in fast forward because there's nothing remarkable to say here. I'll be doing the usual when I'm trimming the header pins. I'll be mounting it backwards and pulling pins out using needle nose pliers, which are here at the bottom underneath my side cutters. You can refer back to the first video in the series if you want an idea on how to do that. And again, for these, I'll be mounting them and just securing them in place with a couple of jumpers to make sure I can solder them level. And the chip sockets, I'll be soldering opposite corners first, making sure the chip socket's level visually on the other side, and then soldering the remainder. So let's get cracking, get the soldering iron warmed up. I will see you at the other side of this fast forward. Okay, the eagle-eyed amongst you may have noticed that I accidentally soldered one hole too many. So I've gone over the hole for capacitor free, one of the decoupling caps. So I'll get my desoldering gun on that in a second, just to make that a bit easier. But as you can see, that's all gone together very nicely. All the chips are pointing left, with the exception of U5, which is pointing upwards. So I've got all of the chip sockets pointing in the left notch on the left, and the header pins have turned out quite nicely too. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think with hindsight, I'd have probably soldered the chip sockets first, because the header pins are a bit proud of the board, certainly more proud than the chip sockets, and it would have been easier if I'd have soldered all the logic chips first, because I would have been able to put them down, and the top of the chip socket would have been flush. Would have just made it a bit easier to line them up and solder. But hey, we live and learn. Yeah, so I'm just going to warm up my desoldering gun, and we'll get rid of that hole on C3. And the next step will be to finish this off by soldering in the 510K resistors, all the decoupling caps, and socketing the chips. Okay, I think that's more or less getting up to temperature now. Certainly feels warm enough. Takes a lot longer to heat up this than the soldering iron. A jolly useful tool that puts into the same solder station. Highly recommend getting an electric pump solder sucker rather than one of those manual clicky things. The manual clicky things have their place. Quite handy if you're just doing a spot patch, ironically like this. Unfortunately, I can't find mine at the moment, so I'm going to have to use this one. There we go. That should do it now. We should get the right hole. Try. Perfect. Good. Job's a good one. Right, I'll put this away, let it cool down, and then we can get on with soldering the what am I on next? Resistors. So the resistors and the caps are fairly straightforward. So again, I'll just go into fast forward, and I'll see you at the end. Oh, I'd forgotten how much of a pain it was to get these capacitors out of these wrappers. So what I'm going to do is stop the video, get these sorted, and then resume. So I'll catch you in a couple of seconds. There we go, that's much better. Right, so just got the capacitors to solder in now. Just make sure I've got all the right ones. 104s, perfect. I'll finish this off in real time, I think. You might have noticed me struggling with the dislodging the pins off the end of my needle nose pliers at the beginning of the video. I wonder what that was, and then I remembered these pads here are magnetic, and I've been leaving my tools there, so it's slightly magnetized my needle nose pliers, which is a bit annoying, but there we go. So let's get these capacitors in. One, should be 5, shouldn't there? One. Bend leads. Straighten them out. There we go. the one I accidentally soldered. Hopefully the hole's big enough to get the lead through. Yes, it is. Excellent. Again, you might find it easier to solder the smaller discretes on first. It's not as good as a wing really, a board this size. Straighten those legs. There's a bit of paper left on there. Don't suppose that matters much. That goes in there. Let's pull it. Go. And 2 more to go. Yes. There we go. Bend the legs just to keep it in place. Looking good. The last one. Alright, doesn't really matter which way these capacitors go in, by the way. Yeah. And there we are. Righty-ho. Let's get these soldered in, and nearly there on the home stretch now. One. Two. Look at that again, there we go. Come on. 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Right, I think I should be good to turn my soldering iron off now. Let's just... Yep. Let's turn the soldering iron off, clean that tin, trim the legs, and get the chips in. Right, soldering iron away, turn that off. Doubly turn it off, trim these legs, and let's go and find some chips. Yoinks. I'm amassing a good number of pins there now, legs there now. That's got a lot of solder on it. Okay. That's fine, I can live with that. Right, so what chips do we need? A 393, a 32, a 32, Something I can't read. I'll just check the website for that. Is it 138? Yeah, it's a 138 multiplexer chip, that makes sense. So just double check, it's a 2 LS32s, an LS04 there, an LS393 at the top, and then an LS138 at the bottom. Let's find those then. Oh, reaches over for the chips. So the 393 is there. The 32s are there. The 138 is that fella. And the 04 is here. There we go. Oh, and the ROM chip. Yeah, there's a numbering scheme going on there. I've been led to believe from the website that this is probably an EEPROM, an electrically erasable PROM. There's a sticker on top which indicates what's on this ROM chip. I'll go into that when we actually start to test this, fire it up, work out what the jumper configurations are. But for the moment, that's a ROM, and those are the logic glue chips to make it talk to the rest of the board correctly. And I am going to put my needle nose pliers there so they don't get magnetized. So let's start off with the 393 at the top. I am going to get a chip leg former. Again, remember, notch to the left, apart from the 04 there, which goes to the top. So the 232s. Get the second one in. Oh. There we go. And another 32. It's takeaway tonight. Quite looking forward to that. I'm on with Jack Jones. Mrs. B's gone to see West Side Story with the kids, the new Steven Spielberg film. And that's probably going to now date this video somewhat. So there we go. I didn't think it'd be my eldest cup of tea. My youngest cup of tea, I mean, the boy. But you never know. Normally more into space operas. Like Star Wars and whatnot. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it? Right, there we go. And the 04 goes here. Surprised the cat's not coming, actually. She normally comes in meowing for food. Better go and feed her in a minute. Those of you that are familiar with my Twitter channel will have seen my cat. She's a big, cuddly girl. Quite vocal at times. Made a guest appearance on a video conference meeting I had with a very important client today. Fortunately, nobody was fazed, apart from me quickly reaching for the kill video button and placing the cat on the floor. Right. Oh, yeah, there's one more thing that's probably worth mentioning here. You see that there? It's possible to solder a ZIF socket in here, which I might do at some point in the future. Spencer recommends chopping the end off of the arm because it catches on these logic chips, or soldering the logic chips directly into the board so you can push the arm all the way down, or alternatively, mounting the ZIF socket backwards. You still have to place the chip in with the notch facing left, which might be a bit odd, but I think that's probably the solution. I prefer have the arm pointing out that way. Anyway, that's fine for the moment. Apart from the jumpers, which I'll install last when we come to assemble the RC2014 Pro in its entirety, sticking these modules in the backplane, I think the job is a good one. So there we go, that is the 5th module done. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you like what I'm doing, then please subscribe to my channel. There'll be a link at the end to this video series. Yeah, I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.